Hello and welcome to this special edition dedicated to the African Climate Week, which is hosted from the 29th of August in Libreville, Gabon to the 2nd of September. We're talking sustainable development, climate change and climate action. Today with me, I'm with Harish, Sharma, the team leader of Carbon Checker Company specialized in checking carbon credit. Listen to this, is very, very interesting. We'll be talking to him. Thank you very much for welcoming us here.
Yeah, very good morning. Thank you very much as well.
First of all, Mr. Harish, let's talk about carbon credit because we've been listening and hearing this word coming in for countries, for African countries. What is carbon credit?
Carbon credit is generally a commodity, we can say, termed as whenever we do some project and activity. So there are emissions.
Yeah.
So we just calculate those baselines, and any project, any activity which reduces the emissions as compared to its baseline can be qualified as the getting carbon credits. So carbon credit is nothing but the difference between the emissions which were happening in the baseline and now, which is the new project which we introduced. So
And we're talking carbon credit, and then apparently from carbon credit, states, governments can benefit from it. Like I've heard that there are payments that have been done. What are the requirements for a country to get this carbon credit?
So there are various standards. There is two kind of markets. One is compliance market.
Yeah.
So compliance market is to get through some annexation with some standards like UNFCCC, CDM. So we have to, that should be annexed country. You have to annex that article.
Mm.
So Article 6 now we will talking about in COP 27. So that has to be one way. And another one is the voluntary market. So voluntary market is open for any country.
Yeah.
So whatever sustainable projects which can reduce emission reductions, they can apply directly to that and get benefited from the sale of carbon credits.
And when you apply to this, like a special companies like yours with a carbon check, and then you come and then you check for them, or how does it work? Are you working for the government who wants carbon credit, or you're working for the institution who credits?
So as an auditing firm means we are independent.
Yeah.
So we are third party, neither working for the government, neither for the project developer. We have a review process set by those government or standards. So based on those standards, we actually audit those systems and projects and register those. Means we verify and validate those. This is our work actually.
And we will come back on the African Climate Week. There are certain topics that we've heard about the sustainable development goals, especially sustainable development goals. How important are the credit coming from the carbon in developing this different goals?
Yeah, this is a really very nice question. Actually, earlier what was happening? Earlier the governments were keen on the reducing of carbon footprints and only.
Yeah.
But now with the introduction of sustainable development goal, so what they are doing with the reduction of the emissions, you have some contribution to the sustainability of the masses where the project has been implemented or being implemented. So with these SDG there are various factors, gender equalization, gender equal.
Yeah.
Apart from that, the good health, well-being, economical well-being of the masses. So they actually have the rating system for each individual kind of project.
We're talking about this rating system exactly. How does it work? Because sometimes we hear that it's not applicable the same way that is for African countries, it is for European countries. How does it work? This is very something special, and we really want to know about this.
So actually, these SDG has nothing but these are the actually rating system is based on the qualitative to quantitative we are moving on. So SDG, we are modeling these SDG impacts on the basis of means kind of real sustainability in that section.
Yeah, exactly.
So now it is actually total area specific. Suppose say some country there is a issue of gender equalization means. So it may happen that in European country gender equalization is not an issue.
Yeah.
So in that respect it may happen to some companies that SDG 1, 2, 3 there are various parameters. So it may be applicable to some countries and
not applicable to others.
Like if you say for instance take an instance for Indian. In India means if you say the gender ratio, the per head means per girl if you
the parity
there is means 1,000 babies are born.
Yeah.
So the number of girl baby are less as compared to this. So these are also equality factor. So in some reason maybe boys are more than girls. So
Yeah.
this is the thing.
Okay, this are actually this. But what are the concrete solutions now coming from this African Climate Week? What are your expectations as coming and participating in this global international event which is taking place here in Gabon? How do you come and then view this event to change the future of the Africa and the planet in general?
Actually, if you say from last 200 years there is industrialization,
Yeah.
and the industrialized countries were actually exporting these resources insanely
Yeah,
without
yeah.
having any idea of sustainable
That's true,
growth.
that's
So
true.
now it is the responsibility of those industrialized nations also, and as a whole, as a globe, to means wherever the development is required now.
Yeah.
So that should be sustainable, and this is the responsibility of those rich nations also to help in the sustainability of
Yeah, because we're seeing these rich nations are the ones who pollute the most.
polluted. So the responsibility lies with them.
Yeah.
So this is the where differentiated responsibilities come into picture.
And the adaptation also has to be respected. And on the African continental base, how do you see, as an external, how do you view African going forward in maintaining its forests, as you see with the carbon emissions that are contracted
Correct.
here in Gabon? How do you see Africa going forward as coming from India, a country where this thing have been also exported? How do you see Africa going forward in maintaining this?
Actually, you see, during the development phase, only if an economy is sensitive towards the sustainability,
Yeah, yeah.
so they will surely, definitely develop in a very strong way and in a sustainable way. So it is very good that while in the development phase itself, so there is sensitivity about the sustainability, about the ecology,
Yeah, yeah,
forestry.
yeah.
So these all things. So in Africa, we are doing various projects like efficient cook stove projects, which
Yeah.
are generating carbon credits. Apart from that, there are projects of afforestation and reforestation. So really big way, very good changes are going on.
Yeah, because there's also this line between economy and sustainable development goals, because they have to be an adaptation in order not only to maintain the forest, but also how do we combine industrialization and maintaining, keeping the forest intact.
Exactly, because this is our greater responsibility that for the masses which are about to come, for the generation, we have to kind of save our environment so that they can also see this means nature flourishing with them. So this is the greater responsibility for all of us.
And now we're talking about the international institutions, the ones like the accreditations that you got. We see the ISO and the GCM, or the global standards. Also, these are various institutions that are controlling this. But then their standards. Do you see this approach being applied to each and every company that is working in this environment? Because it's a very sensitive matter. How could they control? Could they better watch out what is going on, how is this being done? Because the carbon check also, there are many scandals that have been already notified in this carbon check procedure. What are the standards and how could they improve?
So actually now this is all things are market driven and end user driven actually. So now if you see the end user is actually concerned about the products which they are using, whether it is sustainable, means whether it has been manufactured through a sustainable way or not, whether they are means in whichever country it is their factory is there, so whether they are abiding all the law,
the whole processing chain.
Processing chain. So now this is the compulsion of the big companies also to go carbon neutral in a near future, if not possible currently. So means they all have these strategies and they all have a kind of a structured way to align with these kind of standards, so that they can do the sustainability transit in their own companies also. So yes, it's happening actually.
And then also about the products, the different products that we have, this sustainability and the savability of the environment has to be included in the end user's product, the final product. How do we include also in the process that we are manufacturing, but also teaching and then using, getting the customer used to doing sustainable habits in the consumption of the products?
Actually, there is a life cycle assessment for any product, from gravel to grave. So what has they implying means they are implying that from gravel to grave, whatever sources they are using, this should be from the renewable energy,
Yeah.
mostly relied on the renewable energy, and they are sensitive towards the emissions and also for the toxication of ecological process. Means like if they are having a wastewater from their processing, so they have to treat it, or they have to, means before aligning it with any river or this, so they have to make it as feasible as they can do.
Okay.
So these are the sensitive things which.
Yeah, and this obviously recycling and using sustainable energy, renewable energy. This is also something that has to come inside, because we're moving forward to new ways, and then the inclusion in this, the impacts of renewable energy, because many countries, big countries especially, they do not want to switch from this carbon energy that they used to this renewable energy. How could we go forward to include all this in our habits as well?
So there are various means for take an instance of Asian countries. So they are very rapidly they are transiting from coal based means conventional power plants to renewable energy power plants, like solar, big scale solar, so large gigawatt scale of solar power projects they are employing. Apart from there is a wind solar hybrid projects. So now with the advent of the battery energy storage system big scale, so now earlier we were saying that the renewable energy is not reliable because it can work in a certain time period only, because sun is available for 8 hours only. So now with the advent of the battery energy storage system, now we'll in coming years we'll see that the 24 hours renewable energy will be possible. So it's going to happen very soon.
Thank you. I'll thank you very much. And I recall that you are Mr. Harish Sharma, the team leader of Carbon Check, a company specialized in carbon check. So we've come to the end of this special edition due to the African Climate Week. Thank you very much for staying tuned to the programs of Gabon 24. Keep watching and continue following us. Goodbye.
Thank you so much.